I'd like to call to order the regular Board of Commissioners meeting for St. Clair County. If the clerk would take the roll, please.
Commissioner Samasco. Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Here.
Commissioner London.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing. Commissioner Greatdot.
Here.
Commissioner Bohm.
Here.
Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome, everybody. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, 11K be the library parking lot
All right, the resurfacing?
Addition?
addition.
And that's for final action?
Yes. That'll be for final action. Any other changes? Can I get a motion?
Move
would
to
second.
approve,
Okay.
move to approve the agenda amendment to the agenda.
Motion to approve and support?
Howard did already.
Howard?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? All right, approval of minutes of previous meeting, 5/17/12, the commission meeting, 5/31/12, special meeting of the Board of Commissioners, and 6/7/12, standing committee meetings, if we
I
could.
would move those minutes.
Motion
Second.
and a support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any proclamations tonight? Nothing. On the consent agenda, we have a few items there. We have the monthly summary budget to actual report, job postings report, electronic ticket system agreement, office supply contract renewal, Parks and Recreation finance document, strategic affairs, federal update, the Enbridge open house in Marysville on June 28th, the E91 technical surcharge pool finance statements, and intervention center refunding bonds closing letter.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move the consent agenda items 7A through 7I.
Second?
All right, any discussion on any of those items? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Standing reports of special committees, we'll start down at the end. Commissioner Bohm?
Pass this evening.
You gonna take a pass? Commissioner London,
I
what have you
will, I'll
got?
pass as well.
Commissioner Ward?
No report.
Commissioner Heidemann?
No report.
I'm the only one with a report, and I knew that was gonna happen tonight, but I do have to get this out because I think it's important. First thing I want to report on was the emergency services breakfast that was done this year, and the benefits went to Salvation Army. The highest they have ever done there before was $1,700. With the combination of what they did at the breakfast and the contribution from some of the firefighters that were out doing other things, they went from $1,700 to $4,200 that they gave the Salvation Army as a fundraiser. So it was a terrific event, so I just wanted to pay homage to those guys who worked on it. The other piece I have here is one of these good pieces that comes every once in a great while. And it was from a lady by the name of Joyce Arnold, who lives on River Road in East China. And she writes this short letter, and I'll just read it to you very quickly. Dear Sir, on June 7th, 2012, around 10:30 a.m., I called your 911 number for help. I do not know who the young lady was that helped me, but she was wonderful. I feel that she saved my husband's life. He was in New York, and I'm here in Michigan, and he called me for help. He could not breathe. I did not have a clue as to how to reach 911 in Oswego, New York. She kept me on the line until she reached them. They did get there in time, and thanks to her, whoever she was, she has my heartfelt thanks, and I want you to know they did a great job. Also, please let Sheriff Donelson know that one of his men, Deputy Christopher Schwarzkopf, came by later to check on me and make sure that I was all right. If the rest of your people are like them, you have a wonderful crew, and you can be very proud. People like to complain, but seldom give credit when credit is due. I'm 87 years old, my husband is 92, and I'm so grateful for what they did. I was really a basket case. Thank you for the wonderful service you do. No words can really express my gratitude. Sincerely, Joyce Arnold. And the dispatcher was dispatcher Renee Prone. So Renee Prone and Christopher Schwarzkopf really made a difference in this lady's life that night. So Tim, make sure that you spread that word. I'm probably sure that you already have. Excellent, thank you. Very nice job. Anything else under citizens wishing, I'm sorry, reports to standing committees? All right, then we'll move on to citizens wishing to address the board. Are there any citizens who wish to address the Board of Commissioners?
Good evening. I'm Gary Tuzinowski, Mayor Pro Tem of City of Algonac, and on behalf of the City of Algonac, I'd like to welcome the county board for holding this meeting here in Algonac and coming down to the southernmost tip of their empire. We keep the shades closed because it's such a beautiful view out the river. If they were open, probably not much work would be conducted. But we wish to thank you, and I could remind you that if you could come down Saturday, we have one of the best wooden boat shows in the country, Saturday afternoon at the harbor in town. And in addition, on Thursdays and Saturdays, we have a wonderful historical museum which emphasizes boats. They're the folks that come by every few months and make these displays. So again, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Gary. Any other citizens wishing to address the board tonight? Hearing none, then, we will move on to unfinished business. We have a resolution in opposition to revenue sharing recommendations that has been tabled. Somebody would like to take that off the table?
I would move that Resolution 1217 opposing to proposed revenue sharing recommendations be removed from the table.
Support.
I have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion is now on the table. Any discussion on this item at all?
I
You said it's kind of a mute point, isn't it?
I think it's been addressed.
asked that it be reworked a little bit, bringing it more in line with the Michigan Association of Counties position on this whole issue. And I would direct you to the very last, one of the last paragraphs there. Now therefore be it resolved that St. Clair County Board of Commissioners opposes the reduction proposed within the governor's recommendations for fiscal 2013 budget and the requirement to earn the funding, which has been statutorily provided for. And I think the emphasis on thinking that counties have to earn this when so many of those services that we provide for the state are mandated by state law. So this concept that we have to earn it, I think we need to address that and make our representatives aware that we find that objectionable.
Any other discussion? All right, sounds like it's gonna die for lack of a motion then.
Well,
Let's,
I moved it. Didn't get a second.
all right.
Yeah,
I didn't hear you move it.
Oh, you moved it? To move it off the table, right?
All right. You took it off the table.
No, yeah, that's removed off the table,
Right.
it's then up as a motion.
Okay.
And Terry seconded,
Yep.
and that's, I think, parliamentary procedure, correct, Gary?
That's the first thing, to just get it off the table.
Yeah, I think
Discuss it.
it's two
Yeah.
separate motions first. To get it off the table first is one motion, and then another motion, which we did and discussed it, but we haven't made a motion to do anything with it, to act on it.
No, when you make the motion, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, when you make the motion originally, and then you vote to table it, the motion's still there, and then you remove it from the table, then the motion's back for consideration.
See, I don't know what happened at the last meeting, but if it's on the table, the first step is it has to be moved to the floor. If it doesn't, it stays tabled and you do nothing. So the first step is to get it on the floor, which you did. Now, if somebody wants to move to pass that resolution or to amend it and pass it, that would be the next step.
Oh, okay. I would move that we approve the motion.
And send it to the governor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Send it to our.
I have a motion on the floor. No second? Okay, the motion dies. All right, let's move on to new business under item A, introduction of city officials. If I might take a moment in my hometown to introduce, looks like I only have two people here right now. You've already met Mayor Pro Tem Gary Tuzinowski, and we have Councilman Mark Thompson. Mark, if you'd raise your hand, say hello. Thank you for hosting us, guys. We appreciate it very much. Moving on to the annual report from the Marine Division and Dive Team. Sheriff Donlin, are you ready to?
Just give me 1 second to put my thumb drive in here.
All right.
We gotta move down here and give the sheriff a little more room.
Well, Sheriff Donlin's getting that ready. Just let you know that he has to do that presentation down here. His dive team and his Marine Patrol are heavy down in this area. He thought it would be best to do it down here since most of his patrolling is done down this way. They do a great job. You can't speed, you can't cause wakes, you can't do anything out there anymore. You got an administrative report?
They're all part-time at Walmart.
He wants to go.
They're all part-time.
Yeah, and then we got a executive session. We got room in the back there that I secured earlier. Can I go out of order? Do C? Oh, he's lining up. No. It's informal. While the sheriff is getting his equipment ready, let's take a quick peek at item 11C, approval of county disbursements. Everybody's, oh, all right, I'll hold off.
Well, good afternoon, and appreciate having me tonight. I have also with me Lieutenant Maury from the Marine Division and Dive Chief Wayne Versate.
Guys, thanks for coming.
So when you look at, when you see our agenda tonight, this is the last one, an overview of the Marine Dive Team. We have had several of them during the course of the year here with our Corrections, Uniform Services, Marine Dive Team, as well as Animal Control. So tonight, hopefully, anything that I can't answer, I've got our two Marine and Dive people here, and we'll zip through this for you tonight. A little bit in our mission statement. We have one different for every division here, and on the nutshell, it's providing with the community safer boating environment through education, enforcement, environmental protection. And those are the big three with emergency response. And considering the makeup of St. Clair County, they are very, very busy, as you'll see. Our staffing at the Marine Division, and this is gonna be broken in the first half as Marine Division, second as Dive Team. 40 employees with Lieutenant Maury on top as a contract lieutenant. Command officers, which are sergeants, 29 deputies, totals out with 40 employees in our Marine Division. The vehicles in Marine Division, all pretty high mileage. They're all vehicles that were used in patrol after they have been fit to be taken out of patrol. Then they're hand-me-downs. A lot of times vehicles move into corrections. Sometimes they'll move into Marine Team as well. And these are what these three are: cruisers as well as an excursion. And you can see pretty high miles, 2004, some late model vehicles. Our Marine fleet with 9 vessels in there, starting off on the top all the way down. I gotta, let's see here if I can, there we go. And one on trailer for special occasions as well. Our boat mooring dockings, Pearl Beach right down the street is our main office there. St. Clair Marina as well as the Black River. Black River also has a station in there as well. There's a trailer there, so there's a little bit of room in there. And then vehicles ready for transport. If you take a look at the one on the bottom right there, as well, we have them trailered. Our boating area, when you look at St. Clair County, it's a tough picture, but 110 miles of international border, lakes, and then all the ponds. We've got more water than any of the total of 83 counties in the state of Michigan. So we've got the largest international border, and
the largest waterways. So it's extremely challenging here in St. Clair County. That's just one of our pictures of one of our many events on the flow down on the bridge. But, you know, when people think of the marine and dive, they don't take into effect all of the ponds as well that we have throughout the country that have a lot of calls. Marine deputy responsibilities, investigations, obviously state and local laws, accidents, complaints, crimes ranging from, you know, an assault on a boat to boating accidents to drunk drivers to unfortunately fatalities from time to time. Assisting the public, a lot of that, just think of job and or float down, that's about 90% assisting the public on a case like that. Emergency situations, vessels in distress, rescue operations, very busy, and as well as the boat livery inspection. So there's some mandated things that the Marine Division has to do. Importance of education, last year we taught school to a number of kids. When you look, we taught 63 classrooms, 16 different school districts during the course of the winter. 1,500 sixth grade students got their boating safety certificates. So that's a great deal of teaching. So when you think of our Marine Division and our DARE officers, we have a strong impact in our local school systems, and we are all over St. Clair County. 63 classrooms, that's a lot of classrooms. And Lieutenant Maury does a great job. Never did you think you'd be a sixth grade teacher, but he's doing a nice job with it. A little bit on our personal motorcraft. Some of the things that we teach on there as well helps you fall into compliance with that, because these laws are ever changing, particularly with jet skis. Community partnerships as well, federal agencies. We play a big part with the U.S. Coast Guard, as you can imagine, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. You know, one of the missions also was the Homeland Security, being on an international border. So we've got great partnerships with our federal agencies, and we'd be absolutely lost without them. They have a tremendous amount of power, particularly in a situation like float down, where they can stop freighters and they can shut down rivers. Marine Division cannot shut down the river. So having that partnership is vital to the Marine Division. Bordering sheriff's offices, you'll see Macomb County tomorrow up here in strong force for Javi Nooner. I talked to Sheriff Wickersham, he's gonna be up, as well as County Executive Sheriff Ackle, former Sheriff Ackle, will be up also tomorrow. So we have a long partnership with these areas. Area Police and Fire Department, Saltwater Rescue, Clay, Ira, Algonac, strong relationships there, very much partnerships. And you will see virtually every fire department from St. Clair to Ira tomorrow at Javi Nooner, and a few Canadian ones as well, so strong partnerships. State agencies, DNR, just as much, they're gonna be on the waters with us tomorrow as well. And citizen organizations, we've got two associations that we're very tight with, Anchor Bay, as well as the Mariners Coalition up in Port Huron. So both ends of the county, we have partnerships. Patrol hours, both marine and dive together, including search and rescue. Total hours worked in 2011, billable to the budget, 9,000 hours. And when you think about it, these are mostly volunteers and part-time employees. That's a lot of hours that they put in a seasonal job. Federal grant hours, and that's additional, those are your Stone Garden hours, another 2,200 hours. So 11,300 hours logged in 2011. Very, very busy summer. Volunteer hours worked as well. Patrol, 351. Dive team, and that's a big number, 5,000 volunteer hours. The dive team, and we're gonna touch more on that, but they train monthly for their mandates to stay qualified, and none of those times are paid. Those are all volunteer hours as well. So they do a tremendous amount of training, tremendous amount of meetings. Very, very dedicated group of people. We are so fortunate. I don't think people realize the quality of our dive team, having professional divers that dive for a living, and they give back to St. Clair County as being an on-call sheriff's office diver. Patrol activity, boating compliance 2010 verse 11, safety inspections, complaints and runs, as well as boating accidents, which were down. Everything was down a little bit this year, which is fine with us. The fuel goes up and down, your boating season 11 was hit a little bit hard with that. Enforcement, although the hours were down and the calls, there was plenty of enforcement. If you look from the amount of stops on warnings, 27 to 43, big increase there. Navigation rules, wake violations, 46, 162. So when they are out there, they're very active. Not necessarily writing a tremendous amount of tickets, but educating the boaters what you're not supposed to be doing. And they do a nice job on that. Registrations, Violations stayed pretty consistent, but these are big numbers here. That's a lot of activity there when you're working, if you're seeing 162 in the course of a season. Budget overview, small budget comparable to some of our other divisions of the sheriff's office, but federal grant and then our DNR grant with the 25 match, and then private sector donations brings us to 213. Budgeted total 243. When you look at this, we're over about 2.6%, but keep in mind the federal money shows up halfway through the year, and it was cut 25%, 25,000 less than what we anticipated. And when Lieutenant Maury found out about that, he cut back his hours. We were about one pay period from being right on the money. But again, when the state or the federal government cuts us, it gets passed down and does affect our budget. Our dive team, and I'll touch on that later, was 2,000 under budget. So we're really about within $4,000 of almost a $300,000 budget when you consider the dive team too. And I'd say that's pretty good.
Tim,
Marine
is that a permanent cut or just for 1 year, or
Well,
don't you know?
Every year it changes. It's whatever the government has left to give us and DNR gives us, but it does change. And as things get tighter, you get less and less. You know, the hard thing when you think of federal money, we're competing with the western border, we're the northern border, and we've had a lot of success, primarily due to Candace Miller getting funds. But as things get more and more violent on the western borders and the southern borders, with less and less money is going to work its way east, and that does pose a problem for us, especially when you consider that we have the biggest burden of any sheriff's office in Michigan to patrol the waters, because we have the most of it and the most international waters. So next year, I hope it goes back up, but there's no way of knowing. Some of our grants in 2011 are 2 Sea-Doos, as well as 2 new motors, which are $62,000 worth of equipment there. Dive team, 2011, I believe that's a picture out at Fort Trott when they had the tornado go through there. A little bit on the responsibilities, drownings, which is Councilman Heidemann talked about mandated services. Body recovery is a mandated service of the sheriff's office in the state of Michigan, so that's one of those funny things you wouldn't think that it would be on or mandated in the Constitution, but it is. Evidence recovery, water rescue, we had flood evacuations, lots of different stuff, missing persons, and again, 110 miles Homeland Security when I believe it was one of the, what was the ship that came in and they asked you to do a search underneath the bows for Homeland Security? It was a cruise ship. Yeah, when the cruise ships came in, they contact our dive team, have them do the sweeps underneath it. So we do play part of that Homeland Security. A little bit on the staffing, additional 26 employees here, 14 divers, 12 tenders. And when you think about the volunteers, there's not too many of us are gonna wanna do that, tying a rope on and jumping under ice. So it's a special breed of folks, and we really have to thank them, you know, when you do run into these folks. Budget, small budget, 25,000, income of donations, another 4,200, totaled about 30,000, and they came in $2,000 under. And they also received about another 2,000 in cost recovery from one of the insurance companies on a case that they had. So they did an outstanding job if you think of probably the 5,000 plus hours they put in for free. Many, many times when you see these divers at meetings and trainings, they're not being paid. They're just doing it for the right reasons, and they stay within their budget. And that's a very, very small budget for the responsibilities that comes with that job. Request for service, 51 calls. So when you think about that $25,000 budget, that's just about one every week that they're being paged out sometime of the day or night. Public relation events, they do another 32. And that may be at a school event, it may be a safety show, it may be a parade, but anywhere we ask the dive team, they're there, and they're great stewards for the sheriff's office. Man hours, 5866, it's a lot of hours. And again, on-demand resource, dive practices, PR events, maintenance, which is a big job, is all donated by the dive team. And again, the calls are averaging one every week last year, so they're very, very busy. Dive team vehicles, again, late model, 87, 2091, a lot of older equipment at the dive team with fairly high miles. This is just quickly zip through them. One of our vehicles purchased 2002, another one from our nonprofit This is the third newest one. We haven't had the markers put on it. We just picked this up from a fire department that was purchased by the nonprofit, donated to the dive team, because the dive team has a 501c nonprofit where they can fundraise. And any of the funds in there go back to buying equipment for the dive team, which is donated to the county, and that's in their bylaws. Dive team vessels as well, the 4 vessels. DB Dive Boat 3 and Dive Boat 4 currently out of service due to repair needs, and unfortunately, nothing left over in the budget to repair them. So that's a little bit of an issue that we have that we're trying to work through here. Pictures of the ones here in our boats here, the Dive Boat 1 as well as 2, through a UASC grant for this one. This one's out of service, and this one also having engine problems, and there was a lot of man hours put into that. The dive team purchased this boat from a fire department, put the entire top on and the platforms and build it on the back for diving off of, but we're having a little bit of mechanical problems. And when you look at a $25,000 budget, you could eat it up just fixing a boat. So that's really something I hope when times swing back to the positive, we can address this dive team budget. Fundraising, the 501c nonprofit, again, raised $8,800, and that was a check we received last year from a company for GPS that they funded for us, and they gave us a check to help pick up some of our GPS equipment there. And Wayne, the name of their company again? Enbridge Pipeline, because there's a big play with the pipelines underground with the dive team as well. Federal grants additionally, the ROV right here, and I know that Administrator Kaufman and Commissioner London watched that. That is a incredible piece of equipment acquired in 2011 for a grant, 100% grant funded, fast water capability, and it's the only one in Southeast Michigan. And just, I'll do a terrible job explaining it, but that is a mechanism that you can put underwater, control from a computer like a video game, and it will maneuver itself with arms and claws, pick up evidence, everything else. If you have any kind of homeland security issue and you see a pipe bomb or something attached to a ship, that could go over there and pick it up without putting a diver's in harm's way, as well as picking up guns or knives or any other piece of evidence from the bottom floor there of the rivers. And it has the capability and the powers to run in our river, and that's why it's so big. It's the strongest one around, because the smaller ones, they can't take the current in this side of the county here. Great tool. Our dive team had to go to Scotland to get trained on that, and they went on their own dime, paid for that themselves to get trained on this. Great tool. Milestones, increased department training, continued relationships with our federal law enforcement and fire services. And again, you'll see that tomorrow when you see everybody and their brother working in that event tomorrow, because we'll expect probably, if the weather's warm, 30,000 people out there tomorrow. Grant for $32,000 for surface supplied equipment, dive helmets and hoses. Those were one of our better grants in 2011. Digital cameras through grants, as well as another milestone, Fort Trott incident, the tornado that came through St. Clair County, flipping over trailers, throwing them in the water. Our dive team was there for how many days, Wayne? Yeah, 2 days straight, and we had the assistance of Macomb County and Oakland as well that came in, so that was quite an incident. They did an outstanding job. No fatal boating accidents in 2011. When you look at that amount of traffic stops with 163 warnings, that's a correlation for no boating accidents. So when you see Lieutenant Maury's guys out there and they're stopping boats, they're not necessarily writing tickets, they're educating, and that correlates with no fatal boating accidents. You can't have one and not deny the other. Unfortunately, also, we lost one of our dive chiefs, very traumatic at our training. He died of cardiac arrest while qualifying on his swim this year, so that was a tremendous loss for the Sheriff's Office in a whole. Looking to the future, replacement of equipment. Again, I mentioned we've got 2 dive boats, nothing left in our budget, we can't use them. Looking for more grants, increased patrols with the use of volunteers. Future fundraising for our 501c. Again, the 501c is all put back into the dive team, so the more we can raise, the more equipment we can buy without an impact on the county budget. Regionalization, again, we're in the UASC, so we partner with multiple dive teams, and that is certainly the future with law enforcement and fire services. Continued commitment to cooperation, transparency, and collaboration. This is a picture of the dive team. This is, I think, just about every one of them. And this, unfortunately, is at John McCuch's funeral this past summer. So a very sad day, but a good picture of our outstanding divers there. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. Yes.
You answered part of this already, but I just wanted, on the fleet itself, the 9 boats, you mentioned the 2 new ones, and they're on the bottom, the Sea-Doos, but the other 7, are they, I guess I want to ask, are they adequate? Are you comfortable with, can cover what you think might be needed there, or?
Well, in the perfect world, I mean, if I've got one car that's running and one that's not, I'd rather have the one that's not running fixed. Yeah, we'd love to see those replaced, but more of a priority is I have 2 dive boats that aren't running at all. So, you know, if there's money to be placed anywhere, it should be going to put 2 more back on the road. And those are listed later in the dive fleet.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the sheriff? Sheriff, thank you very
All right,
much.
my pleasure.
Did a great job.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We appreciate all the work that these guys put in. I see them down here all the time.
They do a great job.
They really
We're,
do.
We're very fortunate, you know, with the
Denny, thank you.
responsibility. They,
Okay. Okay, let's keep moving forward then. Let's move on to, under new business, item 11C, approval of county disbursements, May of 2012. Give everybody a chance to get resettled here.
This time I'd make a motion to approve County of St. Clair disbursements for the month of May 2012 in the amount of $13,612,085.44.
Support.
I have a motion to support. Any discussion? On approval of county disbursements, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 11D, 2012 Bulletproof Vest Program application.
I'd make the motion to approve the grant application for the 2012 Proof Vest Partnership Program in the amount of $13,000.
Second?
I have a motion and a support. Is there any discussion on the Bulletproof Vest Program? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Is there a match? Because if we're spending money, you gotta take.
On the Bulletproof Vest, yes, there
15%,
is.
You better take that.
All right, let's do a roll call on that, Jay, please.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatow.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 11E, the City of Algonac contract for assessing services.
This time I would move to approve the contract with the City of Algonac for assessing services for term 7/1/12 through 4/30/13, the amount of $21,250. Be roll call on that too.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion and a support. Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatow.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 11F, contract with Weston Transport, the East Hangar area reconstruction.
Somebody do that?
Not me.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I have a motion,
Second?
support, discussion on it. All right, I believe there's probably a 5% match on that one, $782.
2.5 usually.
2.5, yeah.
Okay.
2.5.
In the amount of $782, so we'll take a roll call vote then.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatow.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item 11G, the interagency agreement between Family Division and Community Mental Health.
I'll make the motion to approve the interagency agreement between the Circuit Court Family Division and the St. Clair County Community Mental Health Authority for a term of 10/1/11 through 9/30/12 in the amount of $198,638.
Second.
I have a motion to support. Any questions or discussions on that one? Jay?
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatham.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 11H, Policy 213, Grants Application, Approvals and Administration.
At this time, I'd make a motion to adopt the revisions to policy number 213, grant applications, approvals, and administration as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a support. I believe this is the one that we,
It's a housekeeping.
yeah, it's a housekeeping item that we forgot to take to the full
We-
board.
Yeah, we didn't act on it
All right.
2010.
We're acting on it right now.
So it's been sitting, I think, I might mention that all of these things were discussed in committee, so it isn't like the first time we've seen it.
Correct. Thank you.
This one for 2 years.
I wasn't even on the board then. Okay. All right. Do we need a roll call on this one? I don't think so.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, it's the MMRMA representative appointment. What's for our insurance?
This time I would move to designate Danielle Hazelwood as the MMRMA representative and Jennifer Posey as her alternate.
Support.
I have a motion to support. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 11J, Strategic Federal Affairs Contract Renewal.
I would move to extend the contract with Strategic Federal Affairs for a 60-day period.
Support.
I have a motion to support. Are there any discussions or questions on this? I know we had some questions last time. I think we pretty much ironed them out at the committee level. Are there any others?
Just one comment on it. One of the things that we are talking to them about is helping us assist with some of the grant writing possibilities. They have 4 full-time grant writers that are on their staff just to do that. I know it's one of the areas that we discussed, and I know Bill's been talking with them about that, so.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatham.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
Yes.
All right, last item, 11K, the library parking lot.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to the approval of the proposal from the James P. Contracting Company for the library parking lot overlay in the amount not to exceed $17,000, with 1/3 paying from public, to be paid from Public Improvement Fund and 2/3 from the Library Millage Fund, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion to support. Are there any questions? Anything the library acting director would like to throw in before we? Okay, we're all good? No questions? All right.
Imagine we're gonna be parking on that thing pretty quick. Went by there,
It looks like it's just
yeah.
about ready. Some pictures came out the other day on it.
It's an awesome job. Looks great.
Yeah.
Bioswale Bob been over there to
Bioswale is well underway.
plant his garden yet?
It's there.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch these, he won't hear that, will he? Okay, Jay, please.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatham.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item 12, the administrator's report.
I'd just like to share a couple of things with you, hit a couple of highlights on that. Just to let you know, the budget process continues. We're sticking with the schedule we produced before. The latest deadline was the receipt of revenue estimates from most of the departments, and those are in, and Ms. Hebting and her staff continue working on that. Last week, there was a decision made by a state appeals court. You may recall about a year ago, spending some time talking about an issue that we were having with our healthcare provider. The State Court of Appeals found against the local unit of government and on behalf of Blue Cross Blue Shield, the healthcare provider. This board at that particular point in time, probably about a year ago, decided that rather than moving forward with a lawsuit, you wanted to go ahead and try and negotiate a settlement. You did so. We received a very nice settlement with them. There are quite a few counties in the state of Michigan that have continued going through the court system, and it looks like the big decision that was made last week is going to jeopardize the possibility of those other communities succeeding in their suit against Blue Cross. So the board should be congratulated for the decision that they made last year to try and resolve the issue with Blue Cross.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yeah, I would note that my vote was based in large part on recommendation of Corporation Council, so I'd like to thank Gary for that. That was some good advice, and we followed it, and it turned out real well, so.
Absolutely right. Did a great job, Gary. Thank you.
The county's annual financial report for 2011 is here. Ms. Hebning just picked it up today. It is in your mailboxes, in your office at the County Administration Building. If you'd like to make other arrangements to have it mailed to you, we can certainly do that. Otherwise, you can pick it up at your next meeting. If you'd like a quick overview, some type of a presentation, let us know, and we can arrange for that at a future meeting as well. Let's see. We continue to work on the Ag Whip project. The proposals are all in. We're taking a look at those, analyzing them, and we hope to come to you very shortly with a recommendation. That's it.
You do have the other Egg Whip proposals in now?
Yes.
Blue
Yes,
Cross,
we do.
everybody?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Looking forward to hearing from that. That's it. Thank you very much. Miscellaneous business,
I'd
anything?
make the motion to
Receive and
the,
file?
Yeah, receive the administrator's report.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Any miscellaneous business? Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Then we can receive and file?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to receive and file the packets that were sent to the commissioners, packets at their places, and any other information presented, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion to support. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have an executive session coming up where we're gonna have to dip into the back room there. Do we want to make a motion before we go back to?
I'd move to go into executive session and adjourn immediately thereafter.
I have motion to support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned, and I want to thank Algonac for hosting us. Appreciate it very much. Sheriff, thank you. Did a great job.